Hello, good people of the internet. I am Karanda Adair. I'm the CEO of Carvel Digital and a certified automation service provider. And if you have struggled with getting your content marketing dialed and figuring out how to use content to actually bring new clients, not just fans, not just followers, but actually cash paying clients, this video is for you. I'm here with Marissa Axell, and Marissa is a star graduate of our Content Bootcamp program, and so we're just going to chat about what that journey was like for her and what it did for her business. And so, thank you, Marissa, for being here. Let's start with just you introducing yourself and your offer, and tell the people what you do and who you help.
Hello, I'm Marissa Axell. I'm in the San Francisco Bay Area. I'm a mostly women's cycling coach. So I help women over 40 become badass cyclists. And so my main flagship offer right now is the Forgotten Athlete Success System. And I really focus on women over 40 because things change as we head into peri and then postmenopause, especially when it comes to training, fueling, recovery. And I just kept getting so many questions, inquiries, and I found there's a real need for to fill this void. So that's why I got started. 2021, I launched it, January of 2021.
Wow, cool. So very young business. So tell me how you kind of became aware of us and of Content Bootcamp and what was going on in your business that kind of made you take a harder look at that.
Yeah, I found Karanda through We Should All Be Millionaires. We'd all did a 10K in 10 days challenge, and you had an amazing, went on vacation, made a great amount of dollars. And it was such an inspiring and fun story. And that's where I met you and got to know you a little bit, not personally, but online, right? And if you know Karanda at all, she sets out all those breadcrumbs and you can just follow her everywhere. So I went through your website, the free stuff, the download, listened to your podcast. And then that was when I was like, okay, I really want to join CBC. And then the tipping point was this time last year. Well, really, it was probably the fall of 2021. And I was just I had help with marketing, but I knew that it wasn't everything that I wanted it to be. So I was like, I'm ready to have Karanda get my stuff together. And that was why I think I reached out in the fall and then said, let's do this. Because I was finishing up a program. So I said, let's do this in the spring. And then literally January 15th, you're like, are we doing this or what? And I joined, and the rest is history.
Yeah. And what I remember most about you is that we did a webinar, we did a launch in fall, September, and then we did a follow-up, and we were like, okay, some people said it's just not the right time. And so their question was, okay, when is the right time? And so when I came back to you and you said, this is the time, a lot of times what happens is people are oh, not now, not yet, not yet. When I came back to you, you were like, let's do this. And you were just in full bore. And I knew because of that commitment and that drive that you had that I'm like, oh, this is going to be fun. So what was onboarding and kind of getting your feet wet and getting into the program? How was that for you?
Super easy. Once you are in the program, it's run through MemberVault, which I already used as well to deliver programming to my clients. So I already was familiar with that. And it's just so easy, user-friendly. And I loved how you laid out the program. So somebody who is an action taker like me could just get in and go. There was no guard, you know what I mean? You could just go lesson by lesson by lesson and do the whole thing in a week if you really wanted to. So I love that because when I want to go, I want to do it all, right? So there wasn't I had to wait for a specific thing. There was only I think the only thing I had to wait for was to actually have our meeting. That was it. And then I was just in with both feet. So I think the following Wednesday after I joined was the first call. And I was that was the only call where I was silent. I was I don't know what we're doing. I don't, because I hadn't finished everything yet. And I would say that because I'm an action taker, throughout the first month, maybe, I think I was every day in the program, learning the lessons, doing the worksheets, asking you questions in the Facebook group. And because it was so easy to digest, I learned a lot really fast and implemented it really fast. So I started seeing results really fast. And then, you know, when you start seeing results, you want to keep doing it.
You want to do more. What kind of results?
Yeah.
So what were you doing, and what kind of results were you seeing in that first phase?
Well, I think that the main thing that was different was starting more, well, not more, different styles of organic posting. So, because I had gone through several different, I don't know, say training program style things with posting organically, and the like consistent content that we learned, like the style, the way you put it together, what you talk about, all of those were just like obviously no brainers, but the way that you put it together and the way I understood it really resonated with my potential like best clients ever. And then also I think you encouraged me to like dig down into that next level. Cause I think I remember saying at one point, like, this is getting people to call me, but I'm not getting the right people. And so we dug into that messaging of like, well, what are the right people that you want? And then that was when the changes started happening, was just consistently posting, really targeting a few words, a few phrases, a few transformations of my favorite clients, like the people I want more of, if that makes sense. And then that's what really got me started to click, like weekly, putting out the content and then following it up with a system. If you know Kronda, she likes her systems, and I love systems. But I didn't even have a really good system. Like people would connect and then they'd fall through the cracks, or you know, so once you have a application process, everything really fell into place, to be honest. And it was easier for me to just talk about my programs more often because I had an application, right? So it's like, you want more info, just apply. And it just like, I think that was that, along with the mindset switch of like, I have an application and they can apply, that really just consistently got more people in my pipeline.
Yeah, and I actually was just organizing all of my old screenshots, and I saw the one where you were like, "This application has changed everything."
It
so
did.
that's super fun to hear. Yeah. Okay, so was there anything? Oh, well, I wanted to follow up and say, what were some specific results? So you did your application and you kind of got your messaging dialed in. What were some of your, because you're into metrics, so do you want to share any of that?
I had a couple. One was like, I want to say February or March. I can't remember exactly which date, but I remember going to the group and being like, yo, I had a 300% increase in revenue this month. And it was because I was consistently posting on a schedule that I had put together. I was posting the right things and it was attracting the right clients. And those were the clients who were like in enough discomfort with their cycling, and they really had future goals. And they were just like, shut up and take my money, you know, and let's go. So that was just like, oh, I think alongside that, like in the kind of in the weeds, but like with the application, you start to see, what do your most specifically great clients have in common? And it really came down to, they have a goal. They, which sounds silly, but a lot of people don't have goals, right? So you need to have a goal. You need to love cycling. And then the third one was, you need to have like shown that you can follow a program of any sort, right? Doesn't have to be cycling, it could be business or school or whatever. But if anyone kind of failed any one of those red flags, like the application would show me, and I didn't need to spend more time with them. And that was just like, I put all my effort into the right people and they joined. So that's why I had that big month. And honestly, now that it's been a whole year since I've been in, I haven't even told you this yet, but I think that I, rough numbers here, but increased my overall revenue by about 20 to 25% over the whole year because of what I learned in the first, 90 days of the year. So that's a new metric. I haven't talked about it yet, but I wanted to point out yeah, I know, it was super exciting. I did want to point out one other one, which was November or October. I came back, I was still in boot camp, and I came back to the group and I was like, Eeyore, woe is me, everything sucks. I hadn't got a new client in a while, you know, I'd gone on vacation. And then I stopped and looked at the numbers because I like data, and was like, whoa, actually, I am up like almost double what I did last year at this time. So even though my feelings didn't feel great, the numbers were pointing somewhere else. So it's I think that also helped, like that came from this program, was like, be pragmatic, look at the numbers, feelings aren't facts. And, you know, again, it just comes back to the foundational, like keep posting, keep focusing on the right people, and it'll continue to roll in.
Yeah, and I remember that that shift of like, oh, I feel like suddenly my standards have risen to the level that now this level of revenue that's double what I did last year feels low. You know, and I love that mind shift for you. And I also remember it might have been that call or one soon after that you were like, somebody told me like, oh, they almost didn't join because they didn't see people on the podium, like in your on your Instagram or whatever. And I was like, get some podium pictures.
Yep.
So, and I think
so literally the next day we did, and then I had like 2 new applications after that. It was just like the biggest you know, and now we have lots more.
It's just the simple consistency. So was there anything that you got inside the program that was like a surprise? You weren't expecting it?
I think like, yeah, it's hard to say like this worksheet. No, it was more of like, I thought we were talking about content, right? And we were by and large, but it was really much more about how you run your business, right? It's like, because you're talking a lot more about your messaging, the right clients, more of the right clients. And that was like, I didn't go in expecting that to shift, and it shifted a ton for the better. So that was, you know, it's hard to articulate that in your, like when you're like somebody like me looking to join this program, it was hard to articulate like your business is going to be so much better because you're doing content marketing, but it's so much more than that. I wish I had better words to describe, but it was like, we talked about automation a lot. And so simple, not to stopgap measures, but like simple automations that really make your business run much more smoothly were like, made a huge difference in my business. And we talked about them all the time because your other thing is automation, right? And you're like, I want everyone's business to run as smoothly as possible. And, you know, your success is my success. And so I feel like that was unexpected. And like, I just expected to learn how to post better posts, you know, like,
right. Yeah.
I didn't expect it to go that deep.
Yeah, no, thank you for sharing that, because it is hard to articulate like, okay, yeah, it's content. It's like we're using content as the entryway through all these other things. I want to talk about FTFP, because that is a new cultural thing that you brought to us. Can you share with the people what that is and what it means? And what it did for you?
Can I switch? Yeah. So
yeah, absolutely.
FTFP stands for follow the fucking plan or follow the fucking program. And way back when, in the beginning of this, I have one of the mini podcasts I listen to is a male cycling coach. And I kind of just straight up stole it from him, because he's like, just FTFP people. And when you're in cycling, I mean, you can come straight down to like, your body wants to be in a rhythm. And it's the same for business. Your business wants to be in a rhythm. So Kronda has this amazing program, right? So I just said, Kronda, I FTFP'd, and right, like I got this result. Like I did what you said to do, and I got this result. So I brought that in on a random call.
Calls.
Yeah. And then like the next week I was like, so we FTFP'd and like had, 200% better revenue. I had 4 more people apply. And it was just such a simple way to succinctly say like, this program works when you FTFP.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. So, last thing is, what would you say? There's always people watching this, right, who are thinking about this. I know there's people out there tell me all the time, like, oh, I'm thinking about it. I don't think I'm ready, or I'm nervous to apply. Like, what's your message to those folks?
Well, I can just say like, from my point of view, I was a relatively new business owner. I knew that my marketing needed to get better, right? I was not a natural marketer or salesperson. And I knew that I didn't know what I didn't know. And so I was looking around actively for what could help me, right? But what I didn't know was how much your program was going to like shift my entire business for the better. We're talking, like I said, 300% increase in revenue in one of those months that I was in there. And overall, like again, a 20 to 25% increase in revenue just over the past year, applying the methods that I had learned. So it is on the front end, it's always a little scary to bet on yourself. But when I bet on myself, I never, ever lose, right? So I looked at that like, okay, I'm going to take the payment plan. This is a little scary, but it felt like as soon as I was in, it was 100%, well, more than 100% worth every dime of time and money. So I would say, yes, you need to, I want to say, bet on yourself, knowing full well that this investment is going to come back in multitudes.
Awesome. And you have been able to grow a little bit of a team, right? Since working with us?
I did. Yes. Yeah. I brought on 2 new staff and yeah, we're just like lighting it up already. So I'm excited to see what this year brings in terms of revenue, even though we're supposedly going into like a decline or a potential recession. There are still so many women who have signed up for cycling events who need help. And that's what we're here for. We're here to serve those badass cyclists. And, we're creating more opportunities along the same flagship at kind of to help people at every level. So I'm just so thrilled to have three sets of hands doing this. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's awesome. All right. Well, if there happen to be some women out here who need cycling coaching, I'm going to put up your, what happened to your banner? Oh my goodness.
I don't know.
I'm going to fix it. Here we go.
No worries.
There we go. All right. So that's where you can find Marissa, axnfitnessandcoaching.com. And I mean, we've got 8 bikes between us, my wife and I. So if I ever get everything dialed in and get these animals to the point where I have time to cycle, I will definitely be hitting you up myself. Thank you so much for your time today. And y'all, if you're thinking about it, carveldigital.com/apply. Just have a conversation. That's all it is. So Thank you so much, Marissa, and internet. We'll see you next time.
Bye.